Okay, before doing some practice on your own on a worksheet, I just want to walk through how you normally will end up finding these chords. Okay, so I wrote 4 different chords here for us to find, and let me show you a process on how to figure out what chords and inversions you have, okay? Now, the bass note is really, really important, okay? That's the one that really matters. So when I'm trying to analyze this chord, I want to put the chord in the 1 octave, because if things are, an octave above, 2 octaves above, the notes still function the exact same way. So you just care that they're within 1 octave because then you can see it better. So I'm going to start by writing the C, okay? I don't want to change the bass note. The bass note has to stay, okay? That A is within an octave, so cool. I'll write the A. Now I have an E right there. I'll write the E right here. Okay, keeping them within an octave. And then I have an A where I already have the A. If you have a repeated note, you don't have to write them twice. So now as I look at this, I can see my 4th right there. And as soon as I see the 4th, that's where I go, okay, the top of the note is the root. Okay, so I know right now that this is going to be some kind of an A chord, all right? And so I may write it out. You can do what you want, but I see this as just A, C, E. Okay, an A, C, E, a major would be A, C sharp E. This is a lowered 3rd, so this is just going to be an A minor. Now I have to figure out the inversion. Okay, so if you notice, C, the 3rd, is the lowest note. So since the 3rd is the lowest note, we gave you all those symbols. This is going to be a 6-3, or we can just say 6. That's kind of the shortcut for it. Okay, so that means the first inversion chord, meaning the 3rd is going to be the lowest note. Okay, so now remember, A is still, A is still the root. This is still the root of the chord right there. So it's an A chord, but the bass note is what made it the inversion. That's where people get tricked up. They mix up root and bass note. Try not to do that. Okay, let's take a look at the next one right here. Okay, so I'm going to write the B flat first. Okay, and I'm just going to stack. So here we got the G flat. I have an E flat. Ooh, lots of flats. Okay, and then I have another E flat, which I don't need to write. And I can see right now, whoop, there's my 4th. So remember, the top of the 4th, that's going to be your root. So this is going to be some kind of an E flat chord, okay? And so I have here an E flat, I have a G flat, and I have a B flat. So now I'm just going to analyze what kind of a chord that is. Well, E flat to B flat, there's my open 5th, okay? So that's really cool. That's my, that I know it's not diminished because of that. But my G flat makes it minor. So this is going to be an E flat minor again. Now the inversion, I notice that my 5th is the lowest note. And if my 5th is the lowest note, that's the 6-4 inversion. And that's how I would write that. Okay? Cool. Let's go on to the next one over here. I like to work from the right. Sorry. Okay, here we go. F sharp. I guess I'm to the left. All right, anyways. We have an A, so I'm going to write the A here, not up here, because I want to keep it all within an octave. I have a C, so I'm going to write them right here. And then I have an F sharp, which I already have down here, okay? Well, I can tell now they're just stacked 3rds. That's a root position, so this is going to be some kind of an F sharp chord. I just want to figure out the quality. Well, I know that on any kind of an F chord, for it to be major, all accidentals have to be the same. So a major chord would be F sharp, A sharp, C sharp. Well, both the 3rd and the 5th are lower, so that's going to be an F diminished chord, okay? Now, if I write nothing, it's assumed that it's going to be just a root position triad. If I want to be really clear, I would write a 5-3, okay? But you actually don't need to write that. Nothing means that it's going to be a root position triad, okay? Well, how do you know it's not a 7th chord? Well, we'll learn later on 7th chords, you actually have to write a 7. If there's nothing, it's assumed to be a root position triad, okay? But that just makes it a little more clear if you want to add, okay? One more, I will work from this side. So I have my F down here, boom. Okay, I have a D, let's put him within the octave. I have an A flat, let's put him within the octave. And then right here, I have another D, but I have a D, so we're good. There's my 4th, so I know that this is going to be some flavor of a D chord. Okay, so it's going to be a D, an F, and an A flat. Well, I know that D, F sharp, A is a major chord because I learned them. I have a lower third and a lower fifth, so that's going to be a D diminished. And then what's my bass note? My bass note is F, which is the third, so that's going to be the 6, or the 6-3 if I want to write it that way, okay? I work these out nice and slow. You're going to get the hang of these. You're going to start going really, really quick identifying these as you get more practice. Do a couple worksheets. Get some practice. Use the little scratch paper. Write them all within an octave. Figure out the inversion. Maybe write them in a root position if it helps you to figure out the quality. And then pretty soon you won't even need to write some of this stuff out, and you'll just go, oh, that's clearly a diminished chord. Oh, it's clearly a major chord, and you're going to see it right away. But this is one way to get you moving. So I hope that helps. Get to the worksheets and learn your triad inversions.